Hi folks, welcome to all of you. Let me start something about myself. I am Ankit Gupta. I would be the instructor for this 1 hour duration, the webinar, which is basically focused on the beginners who are about to adopt Informatica as a tool to work upon. What is Informatica? Why it is there? Why is it so prevalent in the market? The opportunities that it brings with it. So we'll be discussing. I'll try to make the session much more interactive. I would request you to keep messaging in the questions window. If there is anything, any doubt or anything, you will see that there is a hand symbol. So if you can raise a hand symbol, I'll pay immediate attention and I'll address that. All right, guys. That's a brief about myself. I'm close to 10 years of experience, and I have been throughout into ETL technologies and basically into Informatica. So let's get started, guys. Just wanted to inform you that this session would be more of a hands-on session. Like I try to keep theory as minimum as possible, so that you get an actual feel of how the tool is, how it behaves, and what are the opportunities and possibilities it brings with it, how actually it fits into the real-time situation. So let's get a real feel of how the project works. All right, guys. So if you see, this is on a beginner's note, but I'll try to keep some more points. I think there would be different guys who will have different sort of experience. Maybe some may be more experienced, some may be less experienced. I'll try to keep all perspective in mind, like on a sort of architect level, on a sort of developer level, on a sort of fresher level, what exactly it is, how they can adopt this tool, and what are the different sides of this tool. All right. Basically, Informatica is an organization. Okay. Informatica is an organization, and it has got a portfolio. It has got a suite in which you can find an ETL tool. You will have a data quality tool. You'll have a data masking, data cleansing. There are so many tools under the umbrella of Informatica. All right. This presentation is basically focusing on ETL tool, the Powercenter tool that we are going to talk about. All right. That is the most prevalent tool in the market for ETL. There are many other tools in the ETL space as well. A few of them to name about is like Ab Initio, Pentaho, Talent, Data Stage, SSIS, and so on. The list is pretty huge. But why is Informatica so prevalent? So when you go to the tool and when you see this, though it has got a very heavy licensing fees. So I'm going to give you the perspective of the licensing as well as how why is it preferred over the market. So just wanted to know that though the licensing fees is a bit on a higher edge, but why companies prefer is because it has got a very good UI. It has got a great usability. We'll talk about something called as transformations, how ETL works, what ETL is. We're going to discuss about that. All right, guys. Okay, so first thing first, what is ETL? Anyone who's going to ping me the answer? What is ETL? Anyone who is aware of this? A quick response, guys. All right, Ram is giving me a response. Extract, transform, and load. Perfect. Yes, Ram. Thanks for the response. It is extract, transform, and load. First of all, where does this data integration comes into picture? Why Informatica? Why do I need to learn extract, transform, and load? So where it all started is, I'll just give you a small example. All right, consider a chain of McD. Now, McDonald's, you'll see that in a particular city. Take for example Bangalore. There would be around 200 shops, right? And when you go and when you talk on the India level, there can be say 1,000. When you talk about Asia level or world level, there can be any number. Maybe 10,000 shops in all for McD. Now, a MACD owner has to make a decision, like where should I put up my next shop, which is the most profitable location where I should, open my shop. So to take those sort of business decisions, like what is the best appropriate area? Okay, where are the maximum footfalls? Okay, this particular mall has got a maximum footfall, and we do not have a shop there. Let's go and do that. So how they reach to such a conclusion? So they have to do a lot of analysis. How do they do the analysis? They'll have their own data sets. Okay, there can be a marketing team, there can be a sales team who's keep on inquiring about where the maximum footfalls are and all those things. They're going to send it in the file and come to know that okay, this is the location where I can open my next shop. So from the raw data, okay, I can see a hand symbol. Let me see who. Okay, Vikrant. Okay, I've got a question from Vikrant saying, is Informatica capable of converting sound file to text? If not, then what do you do? Maybe later, but park or later. Oh, sure. So Vikrant, I think this is for the basics, for the beginners. So let's park this question for the end. All right. So okay, I think the webinar is full screen. Let me see. Guys, are you able to see my screen completely? Is it a full screen for all of you? Oh, okay. The presentation full screen. I'm going to talk about the presentation a bit later. I'm going to, put it more practical right now, and then I can talk about the presentation. All right. Great. So what I'm talking about is when you talk about, suppose a particular product has been launched by McD. Now, what is the significance whether that product is doing good or not? Suppose a particular burger has been launched, but it is not generating the profits that they have imagined. So what they are going to do is they're every time on a particular day, on a day basis, they are going. If you see, there would be a OLTP system. There would be a screen who they are going to punch whatever product you're buying, right? So once every product is being purchased, what they are going to do is it is actually getting saved in a database system at the back end. Now what happens is all the data at the end of the day, there may be a batch cycle or something which is going to send whatever data has been input on a particular day from a particular shop to a central location. So consider there are 10,000 shops, the data is coming from 10,000 location into one central thing. They want to run a particular, they want to analyze, okay, how many burgers sold, how many ice cream sold, how many coffees sold. So all these things they want to analyze. Now imagine if you are going to do it manually, that would not be possible because you have to make quick decisions, right? So what you're going to do, you have ETL or you have Powercenter at your rescue. What it does is it gives the capability to integrate the data not only from one source but from multiple sources, not only in one format but with multiple formats. It integrates the data and it gives you the capability to transform the data as per the logic, whatever logic you want. All right, and then finally load it into the target as per the requirement, and then you can, on top of the final data set that you have prepared, you can point your reporting tool and you can have graphs. So by seeing the graph, they can actually make the decision which product is doing good, which is not, and what decisions needs to be made. Right? I've got a message from Bhanu. In some parts of speech, your voice is not clear. Bhanu, probably you can reach out to a helpline. That's the only suggestion that I can help you with right now, because there's a limited hour session and I have to really progress. I'm really sorry about that. But if you can reach out to the emergency helpline of Edureka, probably they are going to sort out the issue because everyone else is fine. All right. Yes, so certainly Shankar. I'm actually looking for the same thing. So Shankar is asking, probably in the interest of time, we can take up the questions at the last. That is really important because if we want to respect the time, we have to start it real soon. All right. So I hope is everything clear? Like till now, why do we need ETL? Why is there a need of ETL at first place? Is that concept clear to everyone? A quick confirmation, guys. Great. Okay, I got a confirmation from Shweta, Prabhu, and few other guys. All right. Yes, let's get started. So if you see here, okay. What are the things we are going to do in our today's session? So we have discussed upon what are the challenges in data integration. There is a lot of manual tasks. There is a lot of analysis that needs to be done, and we need to address that. To address that, ETL comes into picture, or for that matter, there can be multiple ETL tool that is available in the market, and we are opting for Informatica for obvious reasons. So we are going to talk about what the reasons are and how the Informatica tool behaves. All right. Then business case, probably I have just now told you a business case. Okay, I can see a hand symbol. Just a sec, guys. Guys, I would request, so I have a question from Mohammed Ibrahim, but Mohammed, I would request you to park the question at the end so that we can, I would request you to hear me out for some time, and then probably we can start off with the question and answer session. If the things are not clear, I would expect you, I'll make it pretty clear but I would expect you to, just wait for 40-45 minutes and then we can take up the question. Is that okay? I can see a hand from Kapil and Mohammed. Okay, I'm going to unmute Kapil. Yes, Kapil, please tell me. I'm going to mute you, Kapil. Let's take the question at the later stage, please. All right. So we have talked about the business use case. So MACD can be one of the basic use cases that we can see for ETL. There can be many things. There can be use case for like in the healthcare section, what all machines are needed, how the disease patterns are, right? So all those things can be done. There can be use cases in case of financial sectors and all those things. So there can be n number of use cases for ETL, and mostly all the projects, if you see whatever project deals with a huge amount of data, not only the current context, but not only the previous context, but even the current context with huge data. If you see, there can be Facebook data, Twitter data, where we are talking about HDFS and Hadoop file systems and all those things. What we are going to do there, also we are going to perform the ETL. So ETL is the crux. It was there and it will continue to be there. All right. And Informatica is keeping the pace with how things, how it makes your life easier just to perform an ETL. All right. So we'll talk about the ETL tool more practically. Then I'm going to show you the demo. The most part that we are going to focus upon is the demo part. So we are going to see at least I'll try to accumulate at least 4 to 5 business cases or 4 to 5 transformations and mappings, so that you can get the feel of how the tool behaves. All right. And if time permits, we're going to talk about something about the admin fundamentals as well. All right, guys. Okay. Any questions till now, guys, or I'm going to continue to the next slide? Okay, so common challenges in the data integration is rising complexity of the data. So if you see more and more of unstructured data, and huge amount of data is inflowing. Why? Because of there is data from Facebook, Twitter, GIS data, mobile data. So all sort of data, different sort of data is coming. Now, if you see the level of income has literally increased for the people, the common people. So they spend a lot. Now, when they spend a lot, there is a lot of analysis that is going on at the back end. Consider an example of Flipkart or any other e-commerce website. Even if you click, even if you browse browse an object, if you go to Amazon, you'll see the recommendation engine and all those things showing up. Okay, even if you've not think of a product, it's going to show up. So it is actually analyzing each and everything you're doing. Okay, that becomes a data. Even if you click, even if you browse a website, it becomes really important. All right. Okay, Habib is saying, can you just slow down a little bit? You're going a bit too fast. Okay, guys. Fine, Habib. Sure, I can take that as a positive thing. So I actually just want to be more on the practical front. That's why I'm taking theory a bit quickly. So I just wanted to say that there is a huge inflow of the data, and to process that data, the manual efforts, it is not sufficient. So it needs a tool to perform that particular task. I'm reiterating that thing. And the second thing that I want to say is, a lot of data that is coming in is dirty data. Like it does not add any value. Something is a garbage data or some ABCDEFG. If I write a comment on my Facebook wall page, it does not make sense, right? So there is a lot of garbage data. Or suppose I'm giving my name and my phone number, but rest all is like null. So what is my address, which mall I have visited, and all those things, consider a MACD example itself. And I give most of the value as blank, then it does not really add a value, because I have a very limited information. So that is dirty data. Now what ETL does is, what Informatica does is, it has got different tools. So data quality is one of the tools, IDQ is one of the tool. This is going to improve the data quality. How it goes to do that? There are few inbuilt libraries, few inbuilt components, with the help of which you can actually improve the quality of data. You can actually see how much is your good data, how much is your bad data, and how you can rectify your data. Even that functionality is available with the Powercenter. So you can clean most of your data even in the Powercenter. All right, guys. Let's move ahead. Okay, this is about Informatica. It's a product company. That's what I'm talking about. A brief description on that. It has been founded in '93, and the revenue information. What is the growth percent per year, and how many vendors are there? So there are close to 6,000 employees and more than 5,500 companies who's already using ETL. There are a huge number of customer base. So this is a brief about Informatica as a company. All right. Okay. Rishu, I would request you. So I have a question from Rishu who is asking how it improves the null data. I'm gonna can we Rishu? I would expect if we can talk about it at a later stage of time. Okay, see, fine, Rishu. What I'm gonna if you're not asking about the logic, it is something called as suppose you have a company. There was a company called as Address Doctor. All right. So what it has an inbuilt libraries. Okay. So if you give a pin code, what it does is suppose I have written XYZ Nagar. All right, XYZ Nagar. Now I have written an acronym of it. Now how do you want to validate the data is it has got an inbuilt library. Now with that particular pin code, suppose if you have given a pin code, it's going to look up based on that pin code and it's going to fetch whatever is the result. So it validates that complete data. It fills that address line 1, address line 2, and address line 3 field. So, and if you see, there are different source systems that are interacting. Suppose you're going to Tata, okay, Tata, and Tata can be Tata Motors, TCS, there can be other components, right? So multiple vendors. Now for one person you have given some information at some place. There can be suppose TCS pharmacy. All right, you have given some other information, maybe a phone number there, maybe address at one place, but now they know what is your name, what is your birth date, and some unique identifier. So if they know that, what they are going to do is they are going to integrate different data marts, integrate different sources, and get your full data, and they'll be forming one single record for you that will be a golden record. So that's how they add value to your data. All right, this means you need to pull the data from our secondary sources. Yes, Rishu. I mean, to complete the data, you have to pull the data from whatever sources is available, and if there is something which related to address, there is something called as address doctor. You can use that to complete the data. All right. So this is about the portfolio that I was talking about. So you have a ETL tool, you have a ILM tool, complex event processing, data masking, data quality, replication, virtualization, data management, ultra messaging. So huge, huge portfolio. Almost most of the things can be done. So, but as of now, we are going to focus on data integration and ETL tool. All right. So current version is version 9.6. So that is the current version that is going on for ETL. It started long time back, and it has matured long. It has matured big time. So there can be multiple things that you can do with the ETL tool. We are going to discuss about that. All right. All right. So and this is about Informatica products and their functionalities. We have already seen it is just another representation, but just give you a view that it processes the social data as well as device data. It can process on-premise as well as on cloud. It can process partner data, and it can have data quality, complex event processing, and all the other portfolios. All right. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, who all are the users? There can be business analysts, there can be business users, there can be analysts, architects, developers, data stewards, or the data scientists. It can be used in any project. It can be, data migration, data quality, big data, MDM. Almost a lot of applications are there for ETL tool as an Informatica, and it can be used at different levels. It can be only for a particular department, to enterprise, to cloud, to Hadoop, to embedded, or machine learning. So all those things that is possible with the help of ETL tool, right? Okay, just a sec. Okay, guys. So this is about Powercenter. I mean, more of ETL tool, that is extract, transform, and load. What is the major advantage is Powercenter over the other ETL tool lies in its robustness. For it can be used in both Windows and Unix-based systems. So what is the advantage of ETL tool here is it can be both Windows-based as well as Unix-based. Plus, it is a GUI-based tool, pretty easy to use. It has got a good logging mechanism. If you face any issues or any problem, it can easily be rectified, you will be easily able to read the logs. I'm going to show you the example or the demo just after this. All right. So these are few of the points on the theory ground that I want to discuss. I can see a hand raised by someone. So any questions till now, guys? Anyone, or can I put down their hands, because I can see, I think Kapil and Ibrahim has raised the hand. I'm going to put them down right now. All right, great. Can we move ahead with the demo, guys? Quick response, please. Okay, great. Habib says yes. Prabhu, Shweta, all right, guys. Fine. So I'm going to show you the example. Okay. I'll be using a VM. I'll be using a VM on top of which. Okay, I've got a small problem here. Just as a case, I'll have to check. I think my session has expired, so I don't know. It's going to take time if it does not happen within time. Okay. I think it has expired, guys. So it's going to take a bit of time for me, around 10 minutes. But I'll do it. I'll try to do it at the earliest. Just give me a moment, please. So this is services page. Probably I can tell you a bit of admin here also. Probably this would be of some use to you guys. See the okay. I'm going to talk about the architecture for a few minutes because that anyhow I have to take it. All right. So the architecture of Informatica is more of a client and server based tool. Okay. So as of now, if you see, this is particularly in a client server mode where my system itself is acting both as a client as well as a server. Okay, and it follows a service oriented architecture. So if you see here in the services page, there is something called as Informatica 9.5.1. It is a master service. Okay, it has got many other service at the back end. Basically, you know, a repository service and integration service and SAP BW service. There are many more services that we can talk upon, but this is master service. So if you want to bring up your Informatica, all right, you have to install I can just give you a brief about. You need an operating system. It can be Windows or Linux, and on top of it you need a database layer. So once the database, okay, usually it supports Oracle or SQL Server as your database. Because why it needs a database layer? Because whatever you do in Informatica, it gets saved in the repository. So your database is like the repository where every single action you do, it gets saved in the metadata tables of Informatica. So it needs a database layer. All right, I have Oracle as my database layer, and then finally I have Informatica installed. First the server component, then the client component. All right, I can take up few questions here, and maybe 5 minutes from now I should be up and running, and we will be good with the examples. I have already created few examples, and I'm going to create few more so that you get the full feel, and we're going to cover most of it. All right, so no worries, guys. But okay, I have got a question from Shweta. Does Informatica support BI reports as well? Okay, I'm going to unmute you, Shweta. I'm not pretty much clear with the question that you are asking. I hope you have a mic with you. Shweta, you have a mic?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. The thing is this, that BI reports what we generate, that also there is any way in the Informatica tool that we can create the pie chart or any report regarding the saved data?
Usually ETL does not provide you know, the visualization part. So visualization probably you can have you know, it is basically for data processing. So if you process the data and you have a process data, you can visualize data by any third-party tool like Tableau or ClickView.
Okay.
Is that clear with you?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So any more questions, guys? I can see there were a lot of questions which was asked earlier. If you guys don't mind, can you please post it again? Can Informatica ETL process run on Hadoop cluster? Yes. Yes, Ravi. So I have a question from Ravi asking, can Informatica ETL process run on a Hadoop cluster? So not exactly on a Hadoop cluster. On Hadoop cluster, you yourself can have a different ETL process, but Informatica ETL, it can have the data from Hadoop and it can post back the data to Hadoop. So you can use the ETL capability of Informatica, that is a GUI based tool, and then you can have the input from Hadoop, you can have the output to Hadoop. Does that make sense, Ravi? Okay, I have a question from Vikrant. Can you unmute me? Oh, yeah, sure, Vikrant. Yes, Vikrant, please tell me.
Right, yeah. Hi. Very quick question is, when you talk about that the database could be Oracle or something, but that's for the metadata. What if my target data is something else? For example, it's DB2, etc. Can I still have Oracle as a metadata and DB2 as a target data?
Oh yes, oh yes. See, source and target can be virtually anything. It can be a ERP system, it can be a CRM system, it can be any database, it can be a flat file. So you name it, it can be a power exchange, mainframe system. So anything can be source, anything can be target. It can be unstructured data, it can be Excel file. So source and target is pretty much fine. What I'm talking about is the underlying database where the metadata gets saved is usually Oracle, Netezza, or SQL Server.
Right, I got that. And second subsequent question is that, remember I just spoke about in the beginning that I have a problem in the sense that you talked about like McDonald's, etc., customer data, etc., which might be unstructured. For example, somebody gives a video or the voice data. How do you go about, taking it as into consideration in your target data? I mean, what is it that you convert into text file, etc.? Is ETL, which is Informatica, capable enough of doing it?
I don't think so. I don't think so that in Informatica can process audio and video files. I think that is a limitation with the Informatica tool. I think I'm not pretty much sure on this thing. So probably I'll have to search a bit on this. I'm really sorry to say that.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
I think usually it connects to everything, process structured and unstructured data, but talking on the audio and the video front, I've never done it, and neither I think that is a limitation which Informatica does not address.
Right, because I mean these days people are really talk about even for the Hadoop, etc., they really talk about unstructured data, but nobody has so far told us that what is it that it's used to convert a video file or audio file into text file, or how is it used actually? But that's fine. Yeah,
Correct.
thank you very much.
And there is something called as food for thought. There is something called as wide streaming that is coming into place of
Wide
Informatica.
streaming. Wide streaming.
Wide streaming. So that is coming in Informatica. That is coming in Informatica Big Data Edition. So I think it's going to process all the Hadoop things, and I think it's going to cover the audio and video as well. But let me be very sure, and then probably I can mail you guys on this. All right.
Thank you very, very much. Yeah, thank you. You can mute me now. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. No problem. Yeah. I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Any more questions, guys? I have a question from Ram. That how's the job openings? Probably Ram, we can talk on this at the later stage of time. And I think I'm up with my Informatica. Let's start with the demo session, and then probably we can take the questions at the end. All right? Is that okay with you guys? Quick confirmation, guys, please. Okay, I have a question. Till the time it is getting logged in, what is the connector used? I have a question from Ravi Chandra. So what exactly is your question, Ravi? I'm not pretty much sure with the question. I'm going to unmute you. Yes, tell me, Ravi.
Hello.
Yeah, Ravi, tell me.
Hey, this was the follow-up question to your earlier one that I asked about Informatica ETL process with Hadoop cluster. And you mentioned Informatica process cannot run on Hadoop cluster, but there's a connector where Informatica can extract data from Hadoop and it can run the ETL on its own process. I was just trying to add follow-up question, what connector is used in that case?
What kind of connector is what you want to ask?
Yeah, what kind of connector is used, or is it a third-party connector between Informatica ETL and
I'll show you more of a practical situation. Just like any other source target, you can create a ODBC or a JDBC connection, and you can have a third-party connectors as well, through which you can connect to any of the data sources.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to show you that. Great. It's regarding the database. Vikrant has a question. Vikrant, let me unmute you, Vikrant. So once we start with our demo, I'll be full on, like I'll not be taking on questions at that time, and we'll be proceeding with the practicals. All right. Yes, Vikrant, you're on air. Please tell me.
No, I have Vikrant again here. I think I asked my question. Yeah, already you answered.
Okay.
Yeah. That was
All right.
underlying.
No problem.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. I have a question from Rishu. That SRT files can be done. What is SRT files, Rishu? Just a sec. Yeah, Rishu, please tell me what do you mean to say about SRT files? Rishu, you there? Okay, mic is not working for Rishu. No problem. I'm gonna take the question later. So as of now, guys, my Informatica is up and running. Sorry for the delay, and let's start. All right. So if you can see that. This is the admin console. This is Informatica admin. All right. This is Informatica admin, where you see there is something called as node domain. There is something called as node. Okay. Domain is a container. Node is your system. As of now, the container and system is on the same platform. All right. And it works on a service-oriented architecture. So if you see there is something called as integration service, there is something called as repository service, and I have a node. All right. So what it does exactly is, repository service actually connects to the Informatica repository that I was talking about. Okay, so suppose you have an underlying repository as your Oracle database, it's going to connect to that Oracle database, and it's going to talk, in terms of with the help of this service. And what integration service does is it knows the address from where to extract the data, how to transform the data, and where to load the data. So I'm going to show you the example now. All right, guys. So first of all, a brief overview of how the tool looks like. I'm going to open you the client components of it. So if you see here, if you go to all programs, Informatica, you have a client component and you have a server component. All right. In client component, basically PowerCenter client, there would be 4 main components. So there is something called as just a second. There is something called as PowerCenter Designer, Repository Manager, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. I'm going to show you the significance of what exactly each thing does. All right, let's start with Repository Manager. So if you talk about on the admin front, so this is a place where administrator will come. They'll configure the domain first, then node, then repository service, and on top of it, integration service. Okay, there are many more things. What are the permissions? So you can see the permissions, resources, and then there is something called security. So you can create, developers group, testers group, and all those things. You can create groups. You can create users. What are their roles? What are their permissions? Lot of things can be done with the help of Informatica Administrator. It's a web-based console. All right, guys. Now, and there is something called as PowerCenter repository manager. All right, repository manager. So if I log into this particular repository, so I'm logged. I mean, we configure it for the first time. Probably we can take that later. As of now, you consider that this is a repository which is already configured. Then it works on folder-based architecture. Okay, it has a folder, and you can create the folders with the help of repository manager. So the term itself suggests that it manages the repository. You can do actions on repository from this particular place. All right. So if you want to create a folder, so folder is like a workspace. Okay, folder is like a workspace. So suppose this is one of the folder. As soon as you create a folder, all right, I have created a folder edu webinar as of now. So if you see, by default there is only one folder called as configurations. There are no other folders, source, target, transformation, mapping, nothing is there, right? But as soon as you create anything, you will see all the folders here. Automatically it comes here, all right? And it behaves as a single sign-on, SSO. Okay. I have something from Imai saying that I am not hearing any sound. Guys, issues with my sound? Everybody here able to hear that? Okay, image says now I am okay. All right. Okay, fine. No problem. So this is the folder. We can create this folder a simple way. Probably I can show you another example. Folder create, as simple as that. All right. I can give any name, say edu underscore webinar underscore 1. All right. I'm gonna do that, and I can set the permission who all should use it. As of now, who is the owner? So owner is administrator. There can be other users. I can list all of them. I can add another users. I can do all those things. Just do OK. So if you see, the folder has been successfully created. All right. So I can see the webinar edu webinar 1. Now there is this folder. All right, with configuration style. Now if I click on this thing, so if you see here, it is like once I have logged into one of the client components. So these are like 4 different client components, one client having 4 different views. All right, so this is repository manager, mapping designer, workflow manager, and workflow monitor. All right, so when I click on mapping designer, you will see that it's directly going to log into few of the folders. So whatever folders you have opened there, it has also opened all the 4 folders, all the 3 folders, and the currently active folder is, you can see it here, like edu webinar 1 info repository. All right, so this repository, this folder, it is by default open, and here if you see, you can see all the components. You can see all the components here. All right, now consider I want to create a mapping. Now what is a mapping? How ETL works? Guys, here if you have any question, I have to immediately address that. So I would request. Habib says yes, sometimes it's breaking down. I mean your voice. When you have heavy operation on system, the speaker volume breaks. Give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. All right. Hi guys, are you able to hear me? Just a quick confirmation, guys. Are you guys able to hear me? Guys, are you able to hear me? Okay, it's crystal clear. All right, great, guys. All right, great. Thank you, guys. So I've used earphone now. I think it should not be a problem anymore. So if there is any question, just raise it to the point itself. All right. Great, guys. Let's get going. So what we have to do is we have different components. We have something called as mapping designer. Now, if you want to perform ETL, they have crystal clear, they have segregated it into different components. So if you want to manage the repository, there is a repository manager. If you want to create a mapping, that is only and only logic, just remember this. In mapping designer, we only create mapping logic. Okay, so suppose now it has, this mapping designer has got 5 different components, something called a source analyzer, target designer, transformation developer, maplet designer, and mapping designer. Okay, so source analyzer is something like you can import source definition. Nowhere in mapping designer, nowhere data comes into picture, so you're not dealing with data at all. Just remember this point. All right, guys. And then what you can do, you can import any type of source. You click on source. If you want to import database source, you can click here. If you want to import file source, COBOL, XML, TIBCO, PeopleSoft, WSDL, Web Service, Power Exchange, Salesforce, and you can create your own source. All right, so these many sources are available. You can literally connect to any single thing and you can import your data. All right. So suppose I want to create a source. I want to import the data. There are two database things. There is something called as STBU that I have created, and there is something called as TDBU that I have created. All right. So these are two different repositories, and all my sources are placed in STBU. All my targets are placed in TDBU. All right, guys. So that's how it is. Now, what I have done, now someone was asking related to the connectors. How do I create the connectors, right? There's, you see these three dots. If you click on these three dots, you can actually create a data source, a user data source. So suppose I want to create, add. All right, so I can have DBase files, Greenplum, Informix, MySQL, Oracle via protocol. So this is a bit previous version. So probably, and this is not the big data edition, so you won't be able to see the connector for big data, but you can literally connect to any and every particular source that you want. All right, so you'll see the connector here. So once you create this, once you configure everything, just like SDBU, I can show you as an example. So this is SDBU. I have given it as a local host, this port, this is ORCL, and I've just given my credentials and it works fine. All right. So once you create this data source, you will see it in your drop down list. Okay. Now suppose I want to import a definition. Okay, I want to import a source definition, only definition. So as soon as I connect with my credentials, I can see all the tables here. See, whatever tables are there at my source, I can see all those tables in my mapping designer. All right. Now suppose I want to import EMP as my source. Do okay. Now if you see, there is no data involved. There is no absolute no data involved. It is what it has brought as column name. There is something called as data type, precision, scale, whether it is null or not null, and key, whether a key has been defined on a particular column. So if you see on employee number, there is a key called as primary key. It has been defined on this particular column. All right. Naved is asking a question, do data need to be structured to source it using Informatica? Yes, Naved. The data has to be in a structured format. If it is unstructured, you have to process it first to make it structured, and then you bring it. But nowadays, with new version of Informatica coming into place, you can actually process PDF documents and Excel files and all those things. So it has got, in the big data edition, probably you can process the unstructured data as well. But most of the times you will be, if you use Informatica, you are going to process the structured data. All right, is that clear, Naved? All right, great. Fine. So this is about the source definition that I want to show you. So we have only imported the metadata, okay, the table structure. Now suppose in my target I just want to load the data and I want to create a flat file or something. So target import, suppose import from file. I want to create a file which is there in the target. So suppose I am gonna take tgtemp as a flat file. Okay, so let's import it as a target import from file. Suppose I want to import from a flat file. Okay, so I don't want to go to the source file. There's something I have kept in target files. Okay, so there are so many files there, and tgtemp. Okay, there's something called as tgtemp.txt. all right, so this is there. Now if you see, this is a wizard. If you see, this is a wizard. All right, and what is there is, if you have first field as a column name, then you can import it from your file name. If not, okay, the first row itself is a data. Just do next, or just a sec, guys. Target import from file, all files, tgtemp, or I'm going to show you a shortcut way. So if you see here, as of now there is nothing in the source, right there, and you can see a green symbol. This is versioning. So if you see, there are different third-party tools like SVN repository and all, which do the versioning concept of check-in and checkout. As soon as Informatica by itself provide versioning. So if you configure the repository as a version repository, you can actually go ahead and do that. All right. So once you import your source, Okay, so you drag your source into your target. So if you see here, it's going to come as an oracle. You can, this is a shortcut way to create a definition. So flat file, all right, you can actually rename it to tgt_emp, all right, just to OK columns. And it does not understand datetime. Flat file does not understand datetime, so you have to give it as string, all right, and just to apply OK and save it. This is my source, this is my target. When I go to mapping create m_test. All right, suppose this is my first mapping. Now this is about the reusable component. So suppose you have a particular transformation that is reusable that you want to create, you can actually use transformation developer, or Maplet is for group of reusable transformation you want to create, you can use Maplet designer. But actual logic is getting created in mapping designer. All right, so now you have source, now you have target. You can actually, suppose you do not want to modify anything, you can actually check in and write some component. As simple as that. If you want to modify anything, you can check it out again and it will create a newer version. All right, so now just look at the beauty of this tool. Okay, so if you want to drag the source, you have dragged the source here, you have dragged the target like this. All right, and I'm not, see, if you see here, as soon as I bring my source, there's something called as transformation. Now Informatica works on concept of ETL. So this is source database, this is target database, this by default comes as source qualifier. This is one of the transformation called as source qualifier, which is going to extract the data from the source. So this is a source qualifier transformation. Okay, so it extracts the data from here, transforms the data and load the data into the target. As of now, I'm not putting anything else. Suppose I want to, okay, I'm going to show you one example of say sorter. Okay, I want to sort the data. So this is some data, select all, load it here, and then again do select all, and then again load it here. And how does a sorter work? Based on key. How you want to, like in SQL queries you do order by, right? Order by. So how do you give order by here? So this is a key on which, suppose on salary I want it as descending. Okay, just to apply. Okay, great, my data would be sorted. So this is extract, this particular part is transformation, this particular part is loading. Now this is, if you see, this is only the logic, there is no data. So this is the field that is coming, this is how I want it, and I can process it this way and load it into my target. There can be many more things, there can be expressions, you can write variables, complex logics, everything is possible. All right, now I'm going to show you a shortcut way of creating how do we actually execute this. So let's okay, let's generate the workflow for this with a non-reusable session. Just do next, stbu tgt.out, all look good, next, finish. So what actually I have done, I'm going to show you that. See, this is workflow manager. Here, to execute the mapping you need a session, and to execute a session you need a workflow. Just remember this concept. All right, so mapping, it would be a logic, session it would be address, where does your source lies, where does your target lies, what are transformations you are doing, how we do it. So it has actually done a shortcut. I have done a shortcut, so it has created everything for you. Okay, so this is the session. Actually this is one of the session tasks. So if you see here, I can do it manually also. Task, create, and suppose I want to create s_test_1. Suppose I want to create this, and if you see, all the mappings will be listed. So one session can be affiliated to only one mapping. All right, one mapping can be affiliated to multiple sessions, that should not be a problem, but one session can have only one mapping. All right, so I'm not creating it here as of now. If you see here, I have already created. So this is a wizard, a lot of things can be done with the help of wizard. Now if you see, this session is affiliated to this particular mapping. All right, this session is affiliated to this particular mapping. Then what you have to do here is you have to give the connection information. So Is your source in HDBU? Yes, it is. If not, you can actually click on this particular arrow and you can connect to whatever sources. So this is a relational source. This is where actually you create a source. So if it is not available, connection, relational, you can create a relational connection. What type of relational connection you want? So suppose I want new, I want a Netezza connection or a ODBC or Oracle connection or any other connection, right? I can create, I can click on that and I can give the details. That is actually going to take the data from that particular place. All right. So in session, I'm gonna give the details of like here it is HDBU. Now target, in which location I want to create my file and what should be my target file name. All right. So suppose I want it as a file, output file directory. Okay, I want to keep it as a default directory and I want to name it as tgtemp web.txt. Suppose I want it in this way. All right, just do OK, and I have created a workflow. I have created a workflow. Now this is workflow monitor. Guys, I'm running out of time, so I'm you know, in a bit of a quick mode, but I hope you guys are enjoying the session and you are able to interpret. So if there are any questions related to understanding of the total flow, that would be a concern, so raise it immediately. All right, guys. Okay, I have to log in again. Why? Because it's a different window. Probably if I would have executed the workflow, it opens by itself using the SSO credentials. So if you see here, when I execute, it uses the integration service. All right. So what this is where I create the logic. Then I create the session where I give all the address and workflow. And if you see workflow, it runs based on integration service. So integration service is the one who is actually going to extract the data, transform the data, and load the data. All right, based on whatever is information that is available in the session. All right. So now I'm going to start the workflow. Okay, we're running out of time here, guys. Okay, if you see here, this folder has opened. Now this is the monitor. So once once you trigger the workflow, you can actually monitor it here, and it's going to give you a lot of details. So who has started, what time it has started, it is currently running, status message is no, what is the version, so version number is 1. This is source target statistics. Now if you see, this is succeeded. So what it says is 16 rows have been extracted, 16 rows have been extracted and 16 rows have been loaded. So anything failed? No. What you can do, you can see the session log. Go to get session log, and you can see a very detailed log. You can actually increase the log as well as per your requirement. So it is going to give you step by step. So how it processed, it read the repository from this particular repository at this particular time, what is the run ID, what is the session sort order. All right, so how it extracted the data, how it transformed the data, and everything, all these things it's going to do, and then finally load the data. So all the statistics would be available to you in the form of session log. Very good logging mechanism for Informatica. All right, so if we go to the target where the file would have been created, give me a moment. C Informatica 9.5.1 server infra shared. So this is the default location that I have given. Target file. Now if you see tgtemp web.txt, it is created on 11/4/10/24 p.m. All right. So when you double click on it, you can see that. Okay. So I have got some data, but if you see, it would be sorted based on salary. It would be sorted based on salary. All right, guys. So if you see here, 3,000, 5,000, 3,000, 3,000, 2,975, 2,850, everything it is sorted based on salary and it has taken null as the highest value. We can configure for null as highest or null as lowest value. All right, guys. So this is about Informatica mapping, end-to-end flow for extraction, transform, loading, how to create a session task, how to execute the mapping, how to execute the workflow, and we can do multiple things. I can parameterize it, I can make it much and more reusable. There are many more various concepts in Informatica, real cool tool to use, drag and drop operation, GUI based. We're running a bit out of time, but we can actually, if you want, guys, I can still have few more examples and we can extend the session if you guys like it. I'm going to show you, with the limited time that we have, I'm going to show you a few more examples. So guys, a quick confirmation. Are you clear with the full process of ETL? Shrijesh is asking, is this recorded? Yes, Shrijesh, this session is recorded and you'll be having the recording by tomorrow end of day. All right. Great. I have got the confirmation from Prabhu, Kapil, Ram, Rishu that they are pretty clear with this. When can I get the link? Yes, Shrijesh, by tomorrow end of day, I think Edureka should be able to provide you the link. I think that would be available on YouTube as well. All right. So I'm going to show you a few more examples, and I think I have already prepared it, so I just want to use it so that you get a better understanding of how things work. Right, I have got a lot of mappings for you guys. So if you see here, there is something called as okay, I can show you what is filter transformation. Okay, so what is filter transformation? Suppose I am extracting the data from my employee table. I have created, this would be a full list of transformations. So what I can do, what I have done here is, I want to extract the data based on department number equal to 10. So I want only those records which has department number equal to 10. All right. So if you see here, okay, I have got a workflow. Can you see filter? Okay, I'm using filter. So this is a reusable session. When I say start workflow, okay, I've started the workflow. I can go to workflow monitor. Okay, if you see this folder has been opened now, and if you see here, this is running. All right, this particular thing is running. I have already configured all my source target connections. I've created the mapping just to make sure you understand the full logic and how it works. So what I have done is, I'm going to show you meanwhile what is the logic. So simple source, as soon as I drag the source, I dragged my target. All right, and then I just put a like transformation create. I can create, or I can create from here filter transformation, and dragged all the columns from my source, drag all the columns from my source, load it into the filter transformation, and then load it into the target. And just here, when I come here, I can actually here it is not checked out. So if you check out this mapping, okay, let me check out. Suppose this mapping is checked out right now, it would be in edit mode. Okay, just to arrange all. Now it would be in edit mode. So what you can do here is, you just have to click this arrow and you can write your expressions. You can write. So what are the ports that is coming in? You can actually click on ports, department number. So department number equal to 10. You can give this value, and just to validate, you can validate this. Okay, it is doing good. Do okay, okay, and then just save it with the help of Control S. Your mapping should be valid. So how do you see the mapping is valid? So these are like repository messages. Whatever is the message that is coming in, you see all these messages here. All right. So this is how it works. And if you see here, meanwhile it has succeeded. So 16 records have been fetched, 4 records have been loaded. Okay, and it's a flat file. Again, we can go to the same location. If you see here, target files, it has created this particular file, and with only department number equal to 10, we have the data. I can configure my mapping in such a way that it has the header record also. So all those things are pretty much possible. We can it can interact with Java transformation. You can write your code in Java. You can actually do error handling. So if there is anything, you can put the rules that if the data is null, okay, drop the record and send it. You can actually use email tasks, and you can do restartability, that suppose it fails after a particular point, then you restart with this particular logic without intervening. So all those things can be automated in Informatica. So these are few of the pros that Informatica provides, one of the best ETL tool available in the market. All right, guys. Okay, guys, a quick confirmation. So I think it is already 10:31. I'm 1 minute ahead. I just wanted to get a quick glimpse from you guys. Do you want to see more examples? Do you want me to continue, or should we stop here? And I can take a few questions, or probably I can show you a few more examples, whatever suits you guys. A quick Anything. What is your response, guys? Pranjal says continue please. Shankar says I want to see more examples. Continue. Okay, great. I have Kapil, Muhammad, Shankar. Great. I'll take few more minutes. I'll take 10 to 15 more minutes, and remaining 15 minutes I'm going to take for whatever questions or doubts or anything that you have. I'm going to address those things. Okay, let's continue, guys. So this is about the filter transformation. I can show you one of the very good mappings, one of the complex logic that is actually used in real time. Okay, I have a question from Vikrant saying, is XML possible? Yes, Vikrant, XML is certainly possible. I can show you a mapping right away. This is something called as XML generator. I'm not going to explain you right now, but this is taking the data in the form of, taking the data from Oracle, and it is creating the XML. If you see here, it is XML generator. So it is going to create the data in the form of XML. All right. So you can actually create the data in XML, or you can take the data in the form of XML. So if you go to source import from XML, definition. So that is pretty much possible. All right. Yeah, I mean, you name anything and it is possible in Informatica. It is something like that. All right, guys. So I can show you a few quick examples. One of the best example that I want to show you as of now is MSCD1. Okay, probably if you guys are aware of the data warehousing concepts of SCD1, and even if not, I'm going to tell you what SCD1 is. It is something like insert else update. Okay, so it's something like if there is something that is available in the target, okay, if that is available, update it. If it is not available, insert it. As simple as that. All right, but just to apply this logic in warehouse, suppose in warehouse you want the most recent record. Suppose you talk on the phone number. Do you really want to remember your previous 4 numbers or previous 5 numbers? No, right? You want only always the latest phone number that you have. So when you create a warehouse keeping phone number in mind, you're always going to be in a mode of SCD1. That is, if it is not there, insert it. If it is there, update it. All right. And suppose consider the scenario of address. Suppose you want address, so you would like to keep a track of what is your previous 5 addresses, right? So you want to go in SCD type 2. So what it does is it saves the history as well. So we can do all those sort of logics. I'm going to explain you SCD1 because it gives you a glimpse of different transformations that is available in Informatica and how actually we are catering to a requirement of a business situation. All right. So if you see here, there is a input source, just like, okay, I'm gonna take versioning, check out, just write some comments here. It is in edit mode now. All right. This is iconic mode. This is, arrange all. This would mean more visible mode. All right. So as I can create the source, if you see here, this is my Oracle source. This is my Oracle source. If you see here, you'll be able to see it here. This is my Oracle source. I've imported the data from my STBU, and as soon as, so where do I import my source? Here. Okay, I'm talking about mapping right now. How do I import my source? Source, import from database. Again, I can connect to STBU and I can import my source, whatever I want. So SCD input data is something. So I can click on this, just do OK, and I should be able to import my data. Similarly, I can import my target definition. Then I create my mapping. So first I have to give mapping, create, and give some name to it. So I've given MSCD1. I have from here you will see that there would be sources and there would be STBU. So when you click on this, I can bring, just drag and drop it in my mapping. So this is source, then I go to target and I can bring my target here. All right. So once I bring my source and target, by default source comes with source qualifier. All right. So it will have all the columns. Now what I'm trying to do here is I have to make sure whether the data exists in the target. How do I identify it? There has to be a primary key. There has to be a primary key column at my target. It is a prerequisite. All right. So what I'm going to do, this is the overview window. I can actually, I can actually go back here very easily. So if you have huge mappings, you can actually do iconic, or you can even have the overview window and, easily drag and drop here. So when you see here, this is a primary key. This is a primary key column. All right. This is a, just a sec, guys. So this is the primary key column, right? And this, without this you cannot apply SCD1 logic. Now what I'm trying to do here is, just a sec guys. Okay, now what I'm trying to do here is I'm doing a lookup. There is one transformation called as lookup transformation. So if you come here, see, you see this lookup transformation, you click here and you bring it here. All right, so it will create a lookup transformation. I can show you that transformation. Create, or let's do it an easy way. I click on this, you see this plus sign, click it here. Now lookup can be on source, it can be on target, it can be on source qualifier. All right, so where do I want to look up? At my target. Where do I want to look up? At my target. Okay, target, but target table. So which one is my target table? So SCD1 output data. Okay, SCD1 output data. So this is my target table. If you see here, I have done a lookup on SCD1 output data. Okay, I've done a lookup and I have given a join condition. So whatever data is coming from source, I'm looking at all the columns. So this is metadata. There is no data involved. I'm looking at employee. So this is my source employee number. This is my lookup employee number. All right. So I'm looking up based on the employee number and fetching the data. So how it behaves is like a left outer join. Okay, so what it does is, if the data matches, I'm going to take the value from my target lookup. So if the value is coming as null, that means the data does not exist in my target. If the value is coming as some particular value, how does a left outer join works? So it is like joining your target table with your source table in left outer mode format, and you're joining based on employee number, and it's going to give you the value. So this would be null if the data does not exist in the target. If the data exists, then it's going to return the value. All right, so I have used an expression transformation where I can do simple calculations, right? Plus, minus, and all those logics, in or, all those things can be done. So here, this is a mechanism of how to check the null data. Okay, so I go to ports, and there are some, see, if you see here, there are predefined functions. These are like all functions: abort, absolute, convert, case. You can do, is spaces, is number, log, lookup, lpad. There are n number of functions, huge number of functions. Okay, so what you're going to do, I'm going to use one of the function called as if. So if and is null. So if this is null, if this particular column that I'm returning from lookup is null, then you make it as I. That is, I'm flagging the record for insert. Or if not, so if this is not null, that means it is returning a value, mark the record for update. All right, so I have there is some concept of ports, so we can create an output port. So these are the columns that is coming, and you can click on this particular thing and you can create another port. I can show you this. So if you click on this, you can create another port, right? So I've created another port, and you can click here and you can write your expressions here, and I have flagged the record. So if the record is coming, and if this value is coming as null, it's gonna be I. The value of this particular thing should be I. And if the value that is coming is some particular value, some valid value, it's gonna be U. All right. Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a router transformation. There is something called as router transformation, which routes the data. Everything is like pretty understandable. So router transformation, how does the router work? Just like in electrical systems. So you are creating a groups here. All right. So if this particular column, again you can write an expression just like that. Port, you can click on this port equal to I. So this will go for insert. This second flow will go for update. All right, and you can see here, so there are two different groups, insert group and update group. Insert group goes into update strategy, right? There is one more transformation. At runtime we can determine whether it should go for insert or update. All right. So if you see here, insert, how does it identify? Same update strategy transformation can be used both for insert, update, delete, and reject. If you see in the properties, there is something called as dd_insert. So as soon as you write, this is standard. All right. So as soon as you write dd_insert, it inserts the data into the target. If you see here, I've taken update all the columns here, and in the properties I've written dd_update. All right. So I have done here, and based on the primary key column, I'm updating all the other columns. Similarly, based on the I'm inserting all the data. This is how insert and update works. This is how SCD1 logic is prepared. All right. So this is logic. Now, what we do is we come here, we create our either the best way is what you can do is come to mapping just to right click and generate workflow. So it's going to ask you if you want to create session and workflow both. So yes, I want to create that. I have created a session already. So if you see WFMSCD1, right? So it has created a session. Now if you see, I have to give source connection. So this is same table. This is actually same table. If you see here, all right, both are same table. I have just given different names. So SCD1 output data, I have renamed it. I can rename it here just to differentiate for myself. And again SCD1 output data. So I'm inserting in the same table, updating in the same table. It is not two different tables. It is one table, but two different copy of it. All right. And I have given a location for my source and for my target. So what is the target? My target is TDBU. For lookup, what is the value? So again, it is TDBU that I'm looking at my target database on this particular table, and all the logic. Why all these are coming? Because I have affiliated this session to this particular mapping. All right. So once this is done, I have created a workflow. So I can do workflow create, and I can pull my session and assign it, or I can create with the help of wizard and just do right click and start the workflow. All right. And then it's going to perform the SCD logic. All right, guys. So this is one of the best mappings that I can tell you as of now, but you can I can just show you few more things, like probably how I have loaded my flat file, or I can use aggregator transformation. So you do group by operations, right? You do group by operations. What I can do is, okay, I have a store field and I have a quarter field. So for a particular store in quarter 1, what is the total salary? What is the total amount that has got generated? Total revenue that has got generated, right? So what I have done is I have not done any group by. All right. So on quarter 1, I have created an output port and I've given a sum of quarter 1, and I'm loading it into the target. So it's going to give me, though in source I have store quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the information. I'm only bothered with store and quarter 1. So I have not taken all the fields. It is not mandatory to take all the fields. So I've taken store and quarter 1. Whatever you need, you take only those things, and then you perform the aggregation and you load it into the target. Again, the same logic. You create the session, you create the workflow, you execute, and you get the desired result. All right, that's how you do the aggregation. There are some concepts, data warehousing concepts related to facts, dimensions. There is a lot of performance tuning that you can do in Informatica at various levels. So many things to learn, but pretty easy to learn. And once you learn, you would be all set to get going. So this is what I want to give you as a kickstart. I hope you would have enjoyed the session. You would have understood and interpreted the session properly. The way that I want to communicate, I hope you would have got it. So guys, shoot your questions. So we are on 10:45. I'm going to take 10 to 15 minutes, whatever questions you have, and then we are going to close the session. All right. So let's start with whatever is the latest question that I have. What is the significance of port 1521? What is it? So Vikrant has a question. What is the significance of port 1521? No, Vikrant, it all depends on how do you configure. All right. So when I have configured, I mean, it's not hard coded. It can be some other port also. You can have any port. For that matter, I've taken 1521. That's why. So for database, whatever is the configuration you have, you have to take the same configuration. So is that okay, Vikrant? Does that make sense? Vikrant, you're on air. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, but my question was, what is it that would you mean by port here? Because see, I'm not very techy about it, so just want to know what is port, because I have seen this terminology using many places like
It's
port
it's
one.
it's it's I mean, it's like a listener, all right. It's like a listener. I mean, you are giving a complete address. So suppose if I want to reach to your home, you're going to tell me which colony, which area, which place, whether you are in a particular city or not. So this is like a full address to where your actually database reside. So one of the parameters is like a port.
Okay. And second question was, when you took about the example of SCD1, can we call it a dynamic lookup, or was it a static lookup, the example of that?
I have taken an example of static lookup. We can
Okay,
always
sure.
do it with the help of dynamic lookup as well.
All right. Okay. Thanks very much. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on mute. So guys, okay, I missed half of my class because I was at work, so probably I might watch the clip later. Oh, sure, Habib. I think the recording would be available to you, and I hope you would have enjoyed the session. I ask each of you guys, whoever, if someone is planning to leave the session, guys, there would be a feedback at the end of the session, and I would request you to fill that feedback. Also, just for your information, guys. All right, so there's a batch that is going to come on 7th of November that we are planning to start, and probably you can, if you look forward to more of the information on Informatica, probably you can go ahead and look and join the class. So Edureka, you can get in touch with Edureka, and probably you get the things going, right? I hope you would have enjoyed the session. You would have questions, queries I'm going to address now. So if you're planning to leave now, probably it would take a minute for you to give the feedback, and that would help us to improve and get your thoughts on what exactly we can plan for our next webinars, okay, or the upcoming webinars. Great, guys, I'm going to take the questions now. So Pranjal is asking a question, is there Informatica Powercenter free trial version available for practice purpose? It's a pretty good question, Pranjal. Probably it can help many guys. I'm going to unmute you. So Pranjal, yes, if you go to Oracle website, you can actually download Informatica, and probably I mean, there would be steps that would be involved on how to install Informatica and all. So you can always do that. So if you enroll for Edureka session, probably you do not have to worry that much about all those things, because it's going to give you the links and paths and everything on how to download and how to configure and everything. So you'll get all the steps along with the course. All right. Make sense, Pranjal?
You said Oracle website?
Yes, Oracle, edelivery.oracle.com. That's the website that you have to go for.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. So okay, I have a question from Shankar. Performance-wise, will there be a difference in the above situation? I couldn't get that, Shankar. So can you be a bit more clear? Shankar, you there? Right. Shankar, you're on air. So what is the question, please?
Hi, this is Shankar. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I have seen the situation what you have given, like insert versus update, right? Actually, like that you have done using a router tool and all, right? Within the mapping.
Correct.
The same thing actually, like see, okay, instead of using the GUI within the mapping itself, can I call one? Can I incorporate an SQL or SP? Will there be, because actually, like I can even check actually.
Yes, that is pretty much possible. So you have something called as a stored procedure transformation. You have something called as SQL transformation also. So you can actually communicate with the help of database, and then do whatever stuff you want. You can write a stored procedure. You can call that, and you can perform your task. But there is one, if you go performance-wise, what happens is it increases the network traffic. So it moves from Informatica server to database, process that it and bring back. So performance-wise, it's not that good. So if you can perform something in Informatica, it's always good.
Okay, so recommendation from Informatica is always try to use the mapping tools, right? Router or anything like that.
Exactly.
But in the worst case, you can go with SP.
Yeah. Suppose there is some complex logic, you are doing multiple tasks, or suppose you have a legacy system and you already have a stored procedure or something which is there in place. You can always just create source target, and you can use the ETL functionality of Informatica and point it to a stored procedure. So yes, you can do that.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, just you can
All right.
mute me. Yeah.
No problem, Shankar. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
I'm gonna put you. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Shankar, you're about to tell something?
No, your session is so good. Actually, I'm happy about it. Actually, thanks.
Oh, great, Shankar. Thanks for the appreciation. I really like it. Thanks. Yeah. Great. I'm gonna take a few more questions. So, okay, I think Shankar is clear with that. So, being an okay, Shankar is asking, be an expert in SQL stored procedure more than. Okay, again, I think I have addressed that. Okay, Habib says I'll leave the feedback for sure. Thanks, Habib, for this. Yeah, after like 24 hours. So, Pranjal, is there Informatica Powercenter free trial version? No, I think I've already answered this. So, any more questions, guys? I cannot see. Will you be handling the November session? So, Naved is asking a question. Will you be handling the November session? So Naved, I'm not pretty much sure who's the person who's gonna take the November session, but you know there are some real good trainers, industry experienced, ranging from 10 to 20 years, who are good data architects, and we've got a very good team. So you do not have to really worry. But most probably, I'm not gonna take the November session. I'm gonna take the December session. All right. So Vikrant, what is the significance? Okay, I have addressed that. Pranjal, is there Informatica Powercenter free to? Okay, I have done that. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? What will be the November session all about? So Habib, I mean, and I can talk about the session a bit more. It is something like you will have right from admin to developer to installation, all the transformations in much more detail, many case studies. You will get a project to work upon. So there are approximately 16 modules that we cover over a duration of 42 hours of training, and the syllabus is literally very elaborative, and by the end of the session you can be pretty much sure that you're industry ready, you are equivalent to a 3 or 4 or at least a 5 years experienced person. So you can be pretty much it of course needs your dedication and efforts. So once you enroll for the course, there would be a lot of things that would come to your shoulder as well. You have to practice a lot, but yes, by the end of the session you can be very much sure that you can actually go and crack any interview, or you can actually go and work on any of the live project that is running on Informatica. All right. So do we get a certification for this class? Habib, I think, Edureka does provide a certification, but actually certification, if you want to go for Informatica, you actually have to enroll with Informatica for the certification, and you can go for the certification from Informatica as well. Okay, so Shankar is asking what is the course fee. So Shankar, probably you can go back and check the website. I'm not pretty much with the fees, not pretty much sure with the fee structure, or probably you can give a call to Edureka or helpline. You can raise a request. All right. So with the help of which you can certainly get all the details. All right. So Habib says okay. Prabhu says, are there any data definition related to healthcare HL7 formats? Prabhu, no, not really. That is like a partner data in healthcare, HL7 formats and all. But I do not have it as of now. But on demand, probably someone can certainly get it. So it should not be a big deal. All right. It can process any data, or probably if you want to provide some sample, we can process that data as well. All right. Any more questions, guys? Okay, Habib says thanks Habib for joining the session. Thank you everyone for joining the session. So I'm still here for another 5 minutes. Whoever wants to ask question, I'm still here, or else I'm gonna end the session in another 5 minutes. So any more questions, guys? So I have Srijal, Shweta, Venkat, Shankar, Prabhu, Imai, Habib, Adarsh. Anyone? Any questions, guys? Okay, okay. Shankar says, please wait. Oh yeah, sure, Shankar. If you want, I can unmute you. Shankar, you have any question?
No, I just wanted to check. Just wanted to check in the big data world actually coming up. This is again a generic question. In the big data world, actually, like Informatica, do you feel actually will come up with so much of new features and things like that? Because actually we are talking about Hive and so many other Hadoop and
Oh yeah. Oh, certainly, certainly. See, if you see Hive, Hadoop, it is more of a cryptic. If I don't know if you've worked on it, it's like more of you have to write MapReduce jobs. Or you write, you know, there are certain limitations with Hive and Pig, and you have to write user-defined functions. So instead, what I mean, tools like Talent, Pentaho, you know, Informatica, what they are doing is they are already in line with the ETL process, you know, the core and the crux. So what they have to do is they just have to connect to HDFS and optimize that so that it runs with that same fast component. So they are actually coming with everything, and you know, whatever you're doing, instead of writing all your MapReduce jobs you are using, they'll be adding few more transformations, and you can perform your ETL then and there itself, just like a GUI based tool. So you know, keeping that in mind, these tools are like, they are flourishing. Just I would request you to you know, learn something what Informatica is and how it is growing. It is such a prevalent thing. Somebody has asked about the job openings. You go to the market, you put it in your profile, and you see a huge amount of mails that would be inflowing in your, you know, the mailbox for the Informatica openings, just because many companies have accepted it. So you know, pretty bright future. Yes, certainly.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to put you on mute, Shankar.
Yeah, thanks.
Any more questions, guys? Great, guys. Let's close the session now. Thank you so much for attending, the guys. Thank you so much, and the link would be available to you, all right, by tomorrow end of day. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.